Hey guys, welcome to the Titanium Vault. I'm your host, RJ Bates. Today I am sitting down with all of the participants of the 2020 Closers Olympics. And for our first contestant, I had to bring on my first round matchup, who I've coined as a first round buy, but that's just me talking some shit and then joking around. But Nick, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Pleasure to be on.
Yeah, so let's talk about what we're going to be doing here on Saturday. This is kind of a unprecedented little competition that we're a part of. We're lucky enough to be participating in. What are some of the things you're looking forward to as far as what you're going to see on Saturday?
I think everybody's going to have a different style. They're going to have a
Yep.
different technique. I think you're pretty much putting some of the top sales professionals, real estate investing professionals across the country on one platform where you can see, number one, who can produce live and in person.
Right.
But number two, you're going to see different styles, different techniques, different strategies, I guess you can call them, that people will deploy to try and lock up that contract. So it's going to be fun for sure.
So let me ask you, because we have in the first round and the second round, we have a 30-minute time limit. And, when you're just talking to a seller, I don't think we ever actually think about how long it takes us. And this has been a conversation that all of us have been having, like internally in the group chat, like, hey, I just closed a deal the other day and I timed myself and it was 42 minutes. I mean, are you going to change anything up about your technique on Saturday as far as the 30-minute time limit?
So I think that's what makes this competition very interesting. I think you wouldn't be on the lineup if you didn't know how to close, if you didn't produce. But they throw in this X factor on, okay, not only do you have to close, build rapport, negotiate, handle objections, but you have to lock up the contract in under 30 minutes.
Right.
That means if you don't do it in under 30 minutes, it doesn't count. And you're going to be docked points on, obviously because you didn't lock it up. And obviously there's no ROI, there's no, on the contract not locked up. So I think that special X factor is going to really separate people, and you got to go in with the special strategy.
It's funny because people have been talking about the pressure of closing with this many people watching us live, right? What I'm curious about, and internally, and I know I probably shouldn't be telling my opponent this, but this is something I've been thinking about is what if I don't get a seller for like 12 minutes and then I'm 12 minutes, I'm almost halfway through my time. Now, how do you handle that pressure? Knowing that, hey, I had 30 minutes, but I basically wasted 12 to get to finally I got the one. This is the person I can finally talk to. And I got 18 minutes left to get as many points to get this thing locked up. That's the part to me that I think is going to be very interesting in seeing how we handle that sort of pressure. I'm not really concerned about the people watching because, to be honest with you, after like 20 seconds of the call, you're probably not going to be thinking about that anymore. You're just going to be thinking about the call at that point in time. Yep. So I want to ask you about your techniques and your style because, I jokingly called you the first round buy, but that's because I didn't have anything other to say about trash talk to you because I didn't know you really. What is like your style? How would you say you close sellers on a regular basis?
So it's a great question. So for me, I've been in sales since 2013. Still considered technically kind of a younger guy. I graduated college back in 2013. Got into direct sales for 3 years, and then took all those, what I learned and developed into and poured into real estate, and have just flourished in this industry. And I think I'm not a script guy. I think if you're a novice and you're brand new to the business, yes, a script is great to kind of go off of. But I'm a type of guy that is kind of very unpredictable, and I will go with the flow, and I will ultimately make the seller my best friend. And we can talk about, and we're going to shoot the shit. We're going to talk about sports. We're going to talk about maybe, I don't know, politics, or we're going to talk about the weather. We're going to talk about the COVID-19 crisis, or we're going to talk about whatever is in the realm of the conversation. So my style is really unpredictable. I'm unorthodox. And I think that you kind of have to have that, especially in this competition, because you're under a specific time frame. And I think that's the name of the game with this thing. You got to be good. You got to negotiate. You got to lock up the contract, and you got under 30 minutes. So for everybody watching, best of the best. And I don't know, and I didn't even know too much about RJ, but I know he's been in the game for quite some time. I'm sure that, he could sell. We're on here live, communicating. But it's kind of going to be that unknown factor. Could you do it in under 30 minutes? Because I was on a call and I was really getting into it with the seller a couple of days ago, and I looked at the time frame. It was 18 minutes in. 18 minutes in on just getting to know each other.
Yep.
It's going to have to be condensed tremendously for this competition.
Absolutely. And I think that's important for everybody that's going to be attending and just watching, is to understand that we're going to have a little bit of a different technique than probably we normally would have with a seller because of the competition itself, the time constraints, things along those lines. Because I can be honest with you, man. I mean, if I'm with a seller and like you said, we're building rapport and we're having a good conversation, I mean, I'll do that for hours if needed. If I know, hey, this is a deal and this is going to be a killer deal, then I'm not going to rush this. I'm going to let the seller lead me. And it's funny, you said you're unorthodox. That's a good one. That's kind of how I would kind of talk about myself a little bit. I've always said I'm fully transparent, though. And I think that's something that people will see, is that I kind of explain where I'm coming up with my numbers and how I'm getting to my offer.
Yeah.
Is that something that you ever do during your closings? Is like you're kind of brutally honest about how you're getting to your number?
Yeah, and I think I want to relate, because I think, to be honest, I guess if you can call it strategy, is to adjust to who you're talking to, right? I know a lot of people talk about matching and mirroring and things of that nature, but you got to really adjust. Like, for example, if you're looking to purchase a property and they grew up in the house their entire life and maybe their parents passed away, then you better show some that you're sentimental and that you're not just going to tear it apart and flip it like a pancake. Maybe you're going to kind of come in at the angle where, hey, look, one of the options that we may be able to deploy is, adding value, turning it into a rental, and finding a good family to live in this thing.
Right.
So if you're on the other side of the telephone as a seller, you're going to maybe favor the guy who's going to put some hard work into it, add value, find a good family, and it's going to be there forever. And not a guy who's going to come in, demo it, build apartments, and then there goes my house that I probably lived in for 30, 40, 50 years, whatever it may be.
No, absolutely. And I've been talking about that a lot, where it's like, hey, how are you going to handle talking to the tired landlord? I think, to be honest with you, if you asked any of us, we all want to talk to the tired landlord.
Yeah.
The sophisticated seller, he's just like, shut up. What's your offer? Like, let's get to it, right? Like, we all want that guy. What we really don't want is the widowed grandma who wants to talk about her husband, and that's going to be really that's a flip of a coin. I mean, to be honest with you, I hope that when you and I face each other, I hope we both face similar type sellers.
Yeah.
So there's not like some unforeseen thing that kind of hinders the competition. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody kind of wants that to be fair across the board. Real quick, we've got a couple more minutes before we're going to move on to the next matchup. What is the first round matchup that you're looking forward to the most outside of ourselves?
I think it's going to be Real Estate Diddy, and I think it's Adrian Salgado.
Yeah.
Because I think that right there is, I don't know too much about Adrian. I just know that if he's working with the All In guys, he's got to be a producer. And I spent a little time with them, and I know that Diddy has to show up. He put this, he's one of the guys that orchestrated this thing and putting his blood, sweat, and tears into it. So he has to show up.
Right.
And then the other matchup I would say would be Steven Morales and
Antonio. Yeah.
Because I think he's like a silent killer almost. Like, he's very systematic. Maybe he would kind of sound like he's reading a script, but he's very systematic in his approach. Antonio, again, has a lot to prove because he got tagged in from Donnie. And so you better step up to the plate. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So, all right, Steven and Antonio are coming up next. Who do you predict is going to win that matchup?
I gotta go with Steven Morales on this one. Gotta go with Steven, and that's no knock to Antonio, but I just think that Steven, I think he's proven time and time that he's a top producer. I think he's going to come in with a strategy, and I think he's been in the game for quite some time. I think it's going to be close, but I think Steven. How about yourself?
So I would say in that matchup right there, the interesting thing about it is we know Steven and his history and his ability to produce volume, right? I'm in DFW. I'm in Donovan's market. So I know their ability to produce volume here. I mean, he's my competitor. So I know that. I think what's going to be very interesting about that matchup is not who is the better closer. I think it's going to be the leads that they get and the time frame in which they get in touch with them. So I think it's most of a coin flip. I say if it's even, I'm gonna have to go with my local boy Antonio.
Oh, the Texas guys, huh?
Hey, I see Steven down here. He's shaking his head. But hey, look, hey, that's my fellow DFW mate over there. So I got to go with him. I got to support him.
I hear you.
But hey, man, best of luck on Saturday. I'm looking forward to the competition. Thanks for jumping on here. We're gonna kick you out and then get Steven and Antonio in here. Okay.
We'll see you at the press conference tomorrow.
All right, buddy. See you. All right. We got Mr. Steven Morales, who I just
What's up, man?
So I hope Antonio shows up on time better than he is today, since he's still not on. There he is. We'll jump him in here now.
I've been here.
Okay. What's going on, Antonio?
What's up, my man? How you doing?
Good. So I'm looking forward to y'all's matchup. You just heard me kind of straddle the line there and say I felt like it was a coin flip. I decided, because I went with my hometown, my buddy Antonio over here, because Donnie's my boy. Donnie and I have done several deals together. So, but I want to ask you guys, when y'all found out y'all were facing each other, Steven, I'll throw it to you first. What were your first thoughts about facing Antonio?
I heard he's good. I don't know much about Antonio, but I heard he's good. I mean, I don't really have much to say, only because I don't know him. Right. But I'm looking forward to seeing what he got. I mean, you're going up first, Antonio, so spotlight's on you. So
my request.
So I want to ask you about that, Antonio. What are your thoughts about being the first contestant that has to go live?
I wanted to go first. Like, if it was any other way besides me going first, I probably would have been pissed off. One, especially, you get to set the tone, Steven being the underdog in this match. It's nice for him to be able to see what I have before, because, no one's ever heard me, so it's kind of like that surprise factor. But I'm one of those, like, I don't like surprise. I want to bring the cat out of the bag right out of the gate, with the hope that it probably just stifles him and he just throws in the towel as soon as I'm done with 30.
Right. So, I have to say, both of you guys, y'all are known for the amount of volume that you guys have generated over the past, and y'all's reputation, stands on its own. As far as the other contestants that go, who is someone that you did not want to face in the first round? Was there anybody out there that you did not want to face?
Not because I'm scared, but for excitement factor. I would prefer to either be Keith or anyone from All In the finals. Like, I didn't want to take them out early. I wish them the best of luck so that I could beat them later on the competition, hands down.
What about you, Steven? Was there anybody you didn't want to face?
I'd be scared to go against myself, man. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I'm really not scared to go against anybody, because, again, this question comes up against who you want to go up against, who are you afraid to go up against. And no matter who I go up against, it's not going to change my style, whether it's an old lady, somebody motivated, distressed landlord. You guys will see this stuff. I mean, I know the time limit's only 30 minutes, but I've closed deals live on stage 15, 2 deals in 30 minutes. So it's nothing new to me. I mean, from the stage to virtual, I've done it before, but I'm not really scared of anybody. Other than that, it's just going to be interesting to see what kind of styles close the deals a lot faster. Because like you said earlier, you can close the deal. It might take 30, 40 minutes, but to close it quickly, that takes a lot of, that not pressure, but you got to persuade the homeowner to move quickly, or else you're going to be out of time. They're going to lose points. So
I'm going to be honest with you guys. There were 3 people I did not want to face in the first round, and that was Antonio, Andy, and Adrian. And there was a specific reason. You guys, all y'all do all day, every day is close deals, right? Like, I have to do so many other things as the CEO of my company that, I still get in there at times and I close deals. But I did not want to face the guy that's all y'all do. And I especially and I don't mean this by any disrespect because I respect you guys, but as the business owner, I didn't want to be taken down by the acquisitions guy or the head of sales or whatever you call yourselves. And so I was like, I just don't want to face any of those guys. Like that was my only fear. So as far as the competition goes, are y'all changing your techniques at all due to the time constraints?
I don't plan to. I mean, sense of urgency is sense of urgency, right? If you can create it in an hour or 2 hours, you can create it in 30 minutes. So it really doesn't matter. It's just, do you have that ability to create that connection with your customer right out of the gate, right? Some people are going to be scared. They're going to slow pay. They're going to waste minutes. That's their own fault. They should have been better at their craft. You know what I mean? For a lot of us who are ready to go, it doesn't matter. 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 minute. I don't care. Close them down.
What about you, Steven?
I'm not changing anything, no matter the time limit, who the seller is, or who I'm going up against. It's not going to change anything. If anything, I think all the contestants are going to be able to learn from me because I think I've closed the deal fastest on the spot, on the stage. I'm talking about bringing people live on stage. Bring your podium, bring your computer. I don't care what market. We've got accepted offers. It's all on video. You guys I'll send you guys each a copy, but you guys will see this stuff. I think everybody's going to learn from each other, not just the audience, but the contestants as well. So I'm really excited. I wish I was first, but I'm gonna let Antonio take the stage first.
I know you openly said it multiple times in our group chat. You were like, I want to go first. Exactly. I was actually surprised that Antonio ended up going first in y'all's matchup. Antonio, Steven's coming with a ton of confidence here. He's saying that you're going to learn from him. Why do you feel like you're going to beat him in the first round?
I mean, this is what I do every day, like on a daily basis. Like, as you know, before this, I'm a second late because I'm closing deals right now actively. This is what I do. I don't have any other jobs. I don't have any other, streams of income besides closing deals. I make my living by doing this.
Right.
And so I don't think it's an unfair advantage. Honestly, that's really what it is. It's like I have more time. Like when we're in the group messages at night, I'm still closing deals. I don't stop getting off the phone till like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then I text probably till about 11 o'clock. Wake up.
Antonio, I remember one time we had a contest. Mm-hmm. It was your office and our office.
Yes. Who
won that?
The office?
The office versus office.
Of what? Of the PPC contest or what was it?
No, it was our office versus you. I think this was a while back, man. Were you there at the time?
I probably was. I was either there or overseas, one of the two.
Okay. All right. Well, never mind.
I'll answer this. Steven's office won. Steven's office beat Donnie's office. But at the end of the day, that was an entire office. That was not individuals going up against individuals. So
you know who the top closers in each office or was in each office?
Yeah, 100%. But also that we had like 30 people. It was me and 30 guys.
I know, but damn, if you guys got 30 people, we got 5 people, and I'm leading the pack, and we win.
That's all my time.
What does that say?
All my time goes to my guys.
Man, I can't wait, man. I cannot wait until we get started. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this.
All right. So I want to ask y'all a question. I asked Nick who was going to win in a group or a pairing. I want to ask you guys, who do y'all think is going to win between me and Nick?
Nick.
I say RJ. Hands down.
So, okay, Steven, why are you picking Nick?
Well, I'm going to pick Nick because I think, I don't know too much I've heard more about Nick than yourself. Kind of like all the contestants in here. It's like some of us, it's our first time seeing each other, meeting each other, right? From what I've seen from Nick, I mean, he's very smooth and direct. He's very smooth and direct. He's very persuasive. He can move quickly. I've seen some of his footage. He can move quickly. I haven't seen too much of you. I know you're a busy guy. I know you're flipping houses over there in Alaska. So I just go by, from what I see in the experience. That's all I can really go by.
So I'm looking forward to the matchup because I do think that we're going to have similar styles. But it's funny. You talk about how quick and direct he's going to be. And I think if you asked anybody in my office that they would sit here and say that that's one of my strong suits is how black and white, transparent, and to the point I am. I wish, because originally when we were talking about the point system, it was points could accumulate per call. And I was actually looking forward to that because I was like, man,
that wouldn't make any sense.
I know, but I was really hoping that I could close 2 deals in the 30 minutes.
10 people. Yeah, the points will rack up easily if that was the case.
Right. So, Antonio, what are your thoughts about the fact that your boss man, Donnie, I mean, he is out there, he is talking you up so much. I mean, he is openly saying, hey, I'm taking bets, thousands of dollars. Who wants it? I mean, what does that feel like to have that backing from your boss man there?
That's because he knows the deal. I mean, when we go to the title company, 90% of the time it's me. You know what I'm saying? Me and my squad, we get down like he see it every day. People from the DFW, you know what I like to call the real world, right? People who are here who've done business with us. Like I might have the largest amount of online co-signers, but if you go to check some of the HUDs, probably a majority of the ones in DFW got my name on there somewhere deep down in the title. You know? So, I think Donnie just knows what's good. I mean, he knows that I do my thing, that there's going to be no fluff, and I'm not going to hold back regardless if people, you know, have big brains or not. I actually want to attain some followers. That's for damn sure.
So outside of y'all's own matchup, which matchup are you looking forward to the most in the first round?
I don't know. I say yours, and then also Aaron, just because like you guys took the trash talk to the next level with the memes and everything. So I'm ready to see both of you guys compete just right out of the gate.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Aaron and Steve go together. I think that's a very interesting matchup. What about you, Steven? Which matchup are you looking forward to?
I really wanted to see you and Aaron go at it.
I know.
Since this little circle chose elsewhere, I'm actually looking to see Elijah versus Q. I think they're similar. And I think they kind of talk the same. I just like seeing similarities go against each other to see who comes out on top. So that's really what I'm looking forward to.
Hey, real talk though. I mean, when we come to talk about Elijah and Q, I mean, do y'all actually think that they're going to be able to shut up long enough within 30 minutes to get a contract signed?
That's why I want to see that, because I see them talking too much.
I mean, they can't even promo themselves during one of these live calls in less than 30 minutes. I mean,
are they on this? Hopefully
they're supposed to be. I mean, let me see who's up next. Whoever it is, they're late, and they're getting points docked off of their points on Saturday.
Aaron Bevins are next.
Steve Trang and Aaron Bevins. Now, see, what might have happened here is I talked so much trash about both of them, they decided to leave me high in my life. But hey, guys, Steve just jumped on. Best of luck on Saturday, and looking forward to the press conference tomorrow and hearing some more smack talk from both of you guys.
For sure. See you
guys.
See you.
Mr. Real Estate Interrupter, what is going on?
So I got my script ready for the podcast.
Look, hey, your competition is so scared he didn't even show up for the live call here.
I know, I'm not surprised. I am not
surprised. I mean, is this what's going to happen on Saturday?
I think that's what's going to happen. It's okay. It's all right. I don't mind a first round bye.
So, I want to ask you, what were your thoughts when you found out you were going up against Aaron? Because, I mean, I will say, and I know Aaron's talked about this, but he has been openly honest about the fact that he looks up to you. He's learned from you. You're a mentor to him. So what were your thoughts when you found out, hey, I've got Aaron and I want to destroy him?
Well, I want to destroy him. It didn't matter which round I destroyed him, right? But at the end of the day, for me, honestly, it didn't really matter who I went against. I think no matter who I went against, it was going to be fun.
Right.
Just going to have a good time. Like, we're talking a lot of smack. Well, you guys are talking smack. I'm just kind of innocent here. But you guys are talking a lot of trash. And really, I think it's all for a good cause. Everyone benefits, everyone wins. And I was saying yesterday on Charles and Michael's show is, honestly, I'm going to be learning too. I'm a student of the game. Like, I might have things to share. I've got my style, but I'm not perfect. I can't say I have all the answers. I might be the best, but I don't have all the answers. And so, I'm really actually looking forward to learning this weekend from the rest of you guys.
So I don't think anybody knows this, but when I went out to Phoenix in December for Steve's podcast, he sends me a message and he says, hey, I want you to come see something before our interview. And he shoots me an address. And I'm like, okay. And I remember I was busy that morning doing some stuff at the batch office. And I was like, hey, Steve, is it cool if I miss this and I just meet you at the studio? And he was like, no, I really want you to come see this. And I was like, okay, well, I hadn't seen Steve yet. I had been there for a day already, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to stand him up. I'm going to go to this. And I actually came to your sales training, and it was amazing. And I was blown away just by what I learned in like the 30, 45 minutes that I was there. And it's funny because nobody's talking about that right now, but you're actually teaching people how to be a better closer, and here you are competing against us. I mean, but you don't actually close deals anymore for your company, right?
No, man, it's been I've said this. It's been a couple of years since I last was in the living room, right? But we're doing deals. So I joined a mastermind. A part of the mastermind is I actually had to fill out an application. Right? It was when's the last time I had a job application? So I had to fill out an application. And so we ran the numbers. Like last year, we did 34 transactions. We're not the biggest, and we've never said we are in Phoenix. We've never said we were the biggest. But we're not the smallest either, right? It's a cutthroat market, just like Dallas, just like Houston. It's a cutthroat market, and we're getting by humbly, right? So we're doing deals, but I run an operation where the other guys are going out locking up deals. You know my business partner, Max. He's the one that's in the living room.
Yep.
Right? So we're doing deals, but am I the one doing in the living room? No. But am I training our guys? Absolutely. And it's a lot of fun.
So when it comes to Saturday and you're on the phone and you're talking to someone, and it's been a long time since you've done that. Yes. How much are you going to be looking back towards your training and that weekly or bi-weekly, how often it is, mastermind that you're a part of? Mm-hmm. Are you going to be leaning on that training, or what are you going to be referencing back to?
I'm going to be referencing exactly what we're coaching on, because here's the thing, right? Like I may not be in the living room, but the guys that are in the living room are paying us to help them get better.
Yep.
And so we're role playing. Like part of role playing, there's no theory. I'm not just saying, well, maybe you should say this. There's none of that. The answer is, here's how we handle this, because very rarely is someone bringing something on that we've never heard before. Right? I mean, I've been doing this for a very, very long time. So when I'm sharing, this is not like, let me think about this. Let me go reference this. Let me go back to the library. No, I can give you an answer because these are problems that we're dealing with in our business that we're troubleshooting all the time.
What are your thoughts about, this is a nationwide contest. Mm-hmm. And for some contestants, y'all kind of do your deals in your market. Are you concerned about if you get a lead in Baltimore, Maryland, and it's hard to comp, or it's not in a market that you fully understand? Is that a concern of yours at all? Nope. for coming across those? And why is it not?
Because this whole event is sponsored by Propelio. They're giving me the MAO. So look, I know there's a lot of different styles, right? I don't reference the address. I don't reference the comps. I don't do any of that. All we're going to find out is what's the MAO beforehand. What does RJ need? And we're going to get as close to what RJ needs below the MAO. And if we've got that, we've got a deal. If RJ doesn't have enough pain, then we're not, like the whole anchoring thing. Like, I'm not saying we don't anchor, but that's not a strong part of our systems, right? I mean, our systems is RJ, tell me like what's going on. What's the situation? Why am I here? Like, why am I even here? You can go list your house on MLS. Like, you should go with an agent. Why are you even talking to me? And you can tell me why and say, okay, well, you can figure that out.
Right.
Like, just put some money in the house and, get it up to 2020 standards and just sell it for, as top dollar. And
so even though there's a 30-minute time frame, you're still going to use the Sandler method of go negative, kind of do the pullback technique a little bit, and essentially get them to try to sell you on the house.
Right.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. I'm not going to change my game.
We've got a couple more minutes before our next match that comes on here, but I want to ask you, what is the top first-round matchup that you're looking forward to?
Man.
Outside of your own.
I would say probably Keith. I haven't done a lot of studying. I haven't looked at a lot of you guys' other materials. I'm not like Elijah, trying to learn last minute.
Yeah, no, Elijah is doing a lot of game film watching. I think he's scared about his matchup with Kudos.
But Keith, I've actually looked at some of his stuff. I want to say probably like a month and a half ago. And when I was looking at it, it's like, it seems, now I didn't listen to it. I just looked at the outline. it seemed like we have a lot of the same philosophies. So, you know, I love to compare notes. It's just like, you know, I'll talk about your marketing. Hey, you know, RJ, what's working for you in Dallas? What's working for you in Alaska? Right? And we're going to compare notes. I'm going to take what you're doing and the parts that I like about your business that I think can improve mine. I'm going to steal it. That's what's going to happen. And the other parts are like, okay, well, that's cool, but that doesn't work for me. And I'll just move on. So, man,
what's up, Keith?
Keith? Damn it.
Yeah. Steve was just bragging about you and talking about how awesome you are.
What's going on?
So far, out of me asking the same question 3 times, yours and Adrian's matchup has been picked as the top matchup in the event so far.
It's serious, man. It's serious, man. I think it's a great thing. You know, I was telling somebody last week, like, it's nowhere to run to. Nobody can run nowhere. We all got to face each other. You know, at the end of the day, everybody can close, man, or we would never be on here. So we can all trash talk and have a good time. And it's all fun. But at the end of the day, everybody can close because it's obviously, you know, we won't be in, you know, everybody won't be on here right now.
Well, absolutely. Real quick, Steve, I know you're a busy guy, so I'm going to let you go. Unfortunately, Aaron didn't show up because he's a peasant, and this is why I keep calling him a peasant. So now I'm changing my pick from Aaron, and I'm picking you, Steve, because at least you showed up to my live. So, all right, buddy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Diddy. So
yeah.
I know I've talked a lot of trash to you in the background, but
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, man. I didn't want to face you in the first round. I'm glad I didn't have to face you, but you know, you've got a tough matchup, man.
Yeah, I do.
So what are your thoughts about that matchup? When you saw that come up, I mean, y'all were the last 2, so it was pretty obvious who you were facing. But what were your thoughts when you found out that you were facing Adrian?
You know what? I thought it was actually great, man, because, you know, I feel like that, you know, if I win that first round matchup, you know, which I know I'm going to win, you know, I feel like it make people think now, like, damn, okay, he didn't knock that. It's like knocking out the bully or whatever you want to call it. So you know, come on out the way, and now, you know, it's time to get it. There you go. Yeah.
Bringing the belt.
If you guys don't know, I already have one of these.
Yeah. Oh, that, man.
Right? I already have one of these.
Hey,
So
man.
this is just adding to my collection.
Hey, man. Listen, man. Hey, listen. You gonna need all of that.
Caught fire, and I had to run in there during the fire to grab the belt.
Hey, you better be ready tomorrow, man. Saturday, man. But yeah, man, we're gonna have a good time, you know. But you know, I tell people all the time, you know, everybody's been.
I can't hear Keith. What's up with Keith?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Keith.
Can you hear me now, Adrian?
Oh man, don't mute me, Keith.
Oh man,
everybody wants to see us. Why?
Hey, because they know it's gonna be great,
Let me
man.
see if I can pull this shit up somewhere else. Let me set this down.
Hey, man, now you act like he can't hear me now.
I know, right? Can you hear me, Adrian?
I can hear you.
Oh man,
hold on,
that's weird.
Let me do this.
Adrian, while you're pulling that up, I wanted to ask you. Oh, he's gone. Well, anyways, all right. I'll ask you, Keith. Yeah. What's your favorite matchup in the first round outside of you and Adrian?
I would say the very first matchup. I think Antonio and Steven Morales. I heard a lot about Steven. I've seen him a little bit, but I have never seen Antonio. So honestly, I don't know what they expect. I mean, I know Steven is going to bring it because he's obviously no sales, and I heard a lot about Antonio, but I've never seen him. So I want to see exactly, you know, how that matchup going to play out. So I think that's.
I just picked my hometown boy Antonio in that matchup, and I think it made. Yeah, we can hear you, buddy. I think it made Steven pretty upset. Can you hear me, Adrian?
Maybe it's his phone.
It might not be.
Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I can't hear RJ.
Well, y'all just talk, Keith.
So yeah,
let me.
So I think it's gonna be, man. It's gonna be great, man. I think that what's going on, Sierra. But seriously, man, I think the Adrian's matchup is the reason why people want to see it, because they know it's gonna be so many. Because the thing about it is, you know, we both very versatile. You can't really spot no weaknesses in our games, and it's just like at the end of the day, it's gonna come down what kind of sellers we got, you know, and then we're gonna show up and do what we know we can do. You know, I know me. I know I'm gonna be ready, man. When them lights is on, I'll be ready to perform. So I really turn up when it's time to do it. I'm gonna block out everybody that's watching. I'm gonna get into my zone, and my awareness is gonna be like, my antenna is gonna be so far up. It's gonna be like a cell phone tower, man. I'm gonna be waiting on anything to happen, and I'm gonna bring it home, man. So it's gonna be tough for him, man. It's gonna be tough for him, you know, because this ain't no rookie, you know, this ain't no rookie talking, this ain't no rookie on the phone, so it's gonna go down, man. It's just really that.
Let me ask y'all this. What if the first 10, 12 minutes go by and you don't have a good lead? How are you going to handle that pressure of, hey, almost half your time's gone by and now you finally got somebody on? Does anything change, or how do you handle that pressure?
That's a good question, man. You just got to listen. I feel like that, you know, even if it take 10 to 12 minutes, when you get them on the phone, you still need to go with your game plan, because if you don't, you could possibly start making your own self up. But you got to have the awareness you got to kind of move through kind of quickly to get to a certain place. But that's a possibility. You know what I mean? Right. You know, I pray that don't happen to me. I pray that at least about 5 minutes in, I can catch me somebody and I can do what I do. So
ask Adrian what he thinks about that.
Yeah, Adrian. So he said that what you think, you know, if you 10, 12 minutes in and you just now catching a good lead, he was saying how you think, you know, you'll handle that.
I'm probably not going to wait 10, 12 minutes to figure out if it's a good lead, man. Honestly.
Yeah.
I'll probably spend the first 2 to 3 minutes to figure out, all right, is this something that's closable, or how far can I take it? Because at the end of the day, 30 minutes to get a contract signed. I mean, sometimes it'll take you 15 minutes just to go over an agreement.
It
right?
do.
So if I can get all the way to the verbal commitment, and I know that, and I know maybe they're not in a position to sign an agreement, I might just ride that all the way to the finish line.
Yeah, and the same thing with me, man. If I catch somebody early, man, I think that, you know, because you got to think about it. The points start over if you hop to another call. So if I got somebody good, you know, even if I know I can't get it signed, I'm still going to earn as many points as possible to try to maximize on that person. So I think that's very, very important, man. I'm looking to attack early, though. As soon as I get on the phone, I'm looking to go early. I know we only got 30 minutes. I know I got something signed not too long ago for it took me like 38 minutes, and I kind of got busy kind of quick. So, you know, as soon as that fella pick up, I'm ready to go to work, man. Instantly go to work.
I will say there is
the fastest deal I had to date was a 12-minute phone call from, it was a PPC lead, came in, 12 minutes, contract was signed, sent off to the title company. I mean, this guy couldn't get out of the house fast enough.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I mean, good. And I you know, the beautiful thing about it is I probably did about 15 to 20% of the talking. He just told me everything that he needed. I put it down in writing, sent it over to him, got it signed. And that was a condo in Vegas. We made like 33 racks on it.
Yeah, my fast was probably about 16 minutes. I did about 16 minutes before. So yeah, he said it's 15 minutes.
Carlos always talks shit. He said he always talks shit. He had a 10-minute deal, and I always tried to beat that.
Yeah. Damn, 10 minutes. That means they already knew it. They just gave it to you in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I will say that
was back when Carlos was doing acquisitions. So that was like we weren't even doing virtual. People were still going on appointments and shit.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I don't want to happen, though, in any of the matchups.
I'm trying to get you guys.
I don't want one person to get a lay down and then the other person not get a lay down and it end up not being fair as far as the leads go. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wouldn't be fair if Adrian gets like a 10-minute lay down and then it takes you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that. You know, I want it to be fair across each match.
Yeah, man, because that situation right there is something that you can't control.
Right.
That's gonna suck.
Right. I think all of us would like to say we would like to get a good warm to hot lead that they want to sell their house, but we're able to work the lead, negotiate it, and show our skills to be able to be a closer. You know, I don't think any of us, like, for example, if Adrian's lead was won in the contest, he's done after 12 minutes or 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, I'm done. I got my deal. You know, I think we all want to see put on a good show and work that full 30 minutes. Adrian, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you now. I don't know if you hear me. No, I can't hear Keith anymore.
Oh, man. So, Adrian, I wanted to ask, you know, what is the first round matchup that you're looking forward to the most? Not you and Keith, but outside of that, who are you looking forward to watching?
I got to support the family, bro. Andy Garcia, Chris Jefferson. That's the family. I mean, all in, we're a family. We ride together, we die together, no matter what. I told Andy the other day, and he told me the same thing. I was like, we'll see each other in the finals, man, and we'll see what we do when we get there.
Why do you think Andy is going to beat CJ?
CJ Smooth.
Andy, I mean, you've seen him, man. This guy is so persistent, right? He's so persistent on being the best at what he does, whatever it is. You know, this guy started running a couple months ago. He started running. He went from, oh, I ran 2 miles today. And then the next day he was like, oh, I ran 10 miles today. And you see him every time we're on live. Anytime we're on a chat, this guy's running. He's just running all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, he's lost like 50 pounds. This guy is focused right now. He's turning this into a legit battle. Like, he's getting into shape. He's studying his craft. He's doing whatever he has to do. This guy's very analytical, and he's the complete opposite of me, right? I'm the type like John Daly. I'll roll out of bed and go play 18 holes and drink a couple beers and smoke a couple cigars, right? But this guy, if he really wants it and he puts his mind to it, he's going to go get it. And I've seen him on the football field. If there's anything in his way, he's pushing that shit over.
All right, so before we get Adrian and Diddy off here, we got Elijah. Elijah, this is a very highly anticipated first-round matchup. Right here, with both of them staring at you face-to-face, who are you picking, Diddy or Adrian?
Oh, man, put me on Front Street. Well, as you know, these both are talented guys who have personally touched and closed millions of dollars. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to have to go just off the sheer fact that there's a little bit more. I think there's more pressure on him to deliver because they got a lot of people coming at his head. I'm gonna give Keith a nudge just by one vote because everyone's come for his head. Everyone who wants.
I'm gonna tell you this, like, real quick. Like, I didn't even get an opportunity. Like, everybody was coming out my head. So it ain't like that I could have just been like, oh, I want to just beat the hell out of him. There's so many people that's talking crazy that it put me in my heart. You know, I can't lose, man. I can't imagine losing in my heart. You know in your heart what you looking to do. You know what I mean? It have been some times I did some things in life, played basketball, and in my heart, I knew, like, I don't know, but I never admit it. But right now in my heart, man, I can't imagine losing. And I think that I'm ready to put my skills to the test in every way that's possible to win. So they don't have to be ready. And I know what's on the line. I know what they done built. You know what I mean? I know what they done built, and I know he's gonna bring it. And that's what made me really want to go and knock him off. Because I know that, man. I know that. And I live for that.
So Keith, Elijah's partner here, Quitos, he hadn't even showed up. He's scared to show up on my live.
Oh, man.
So are you willing to hang out a couple more minutes?
I hang out till we get here for a minute.
All right. So Elijah,
yes,
what were your thoughts when you found out you were facing Q in the first round?
I was like, man, I finally get a bye. I finally get a break one of these times, man. Like, man, I thought for sure I was gonna have to end up getting like Keith or Chris Jefferson or Adrian. Like, yo, guys saw how hard I've been working, putting this the bet together with Keith, and like, you know, let me just throw you a little alley-oop to make it easy for round one. You know, I mean, and don't get me wrong, Q's good. Q's really knowledgeable. He's very he's very personable. I mean, he's a savant. He's connected and knowledgeable in many ways. However, when it comes to actual turning those gears and closing and actual closing, and you have to do it within 30 minutes. You can't sit there and talk to him for 2 hours. I think I'm going to have that stronger upper hand. I think for sure the stronger upper hand is going to definitely pay in my favor for sure.
It's gonna be about, you know, I know Elijah. One thing I know about Elijah, you know, I know my guy RJ gonna hop back on in a second. Yeah. One thing I know about you is you're gonna get busy. You're gonna build that rapport. I know that for a fact. I can't imagine you not building rapport up with the seller. You know what I mean? Because the personality, you got a certain type of personality that's gonna open the person up. You know, you make me laugh all day. You know, we go around all day. So that just lets you know, seriously, that you know how to, you know, break the ice. You know, and I think that if you could break that ice early enough and then just turn them, I think it's a no-brainer. You know what I mean?
And I think because we have the clock on us, I think just going and making that hard pivot and going, and like I said, usually you have the time to build a rapport, but you know when you could. All right, you know, let me ask you this question. You know, what's the plans with the house? You know, let me ask you this question. If it didn't work out, what's your plans? Do you have a plan? Yeah. And if that doesn't work out, how's that going to work out? And have you thought about this? I think by going through those questions, poking the pain, which Keith's course does a phenomenal job of laying that out for a lot of people out there. So make sure you guys got Keith's course out there, Hustle Implementers. And but I think being able to poke the pain and like soon as you see that opening window, you gotta take your shot and take your shot quickly. I'm saying take your shot quickly on these. Don't wait it out. Don't wait it out. Yeah. Because you don't know if you're gonna have a longer time, and you don't know what that next call is gonna give you that play. And you gotta get a contract on the table, and you gotta have some numbers on the table because you're one of the only people on the initial, the beta tester, the cold call challenge. Yeah. You got a contract. Yeah.
Well, I actually got a little bit of experience doing this, so I'm no stranger to it, man. So I mean, listen. I know that we all facing each other, but really, man, I'm going in with the seller. I'm thinking about the sellers. I'm just making sure that I'm doing what I've been doing all along. I'm not trying to change up nothing because it's obviously what I've been doing has been working. So that's all I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to just being able to see, because like I said, you do the calls. I see you do calls, let the skill set out there, let people see how you do it, why you do it. So I think that's good. That gives you such a huge competitive edge against a lot of these guys. Are like, no, I ain't showing nobody. Well, that's cool. You can do it on the low now, but when it comes to game time, if you're not used to talking in front of people listening to what you're saying, it's very easy to get nervous. You're not on the phone. You don't have your headset. You're like this. And if you can't talk this back and forth, sometimes the echo picks up and they can't hear you. You're the awkward. What? Right. They'll roll into it, and you only got 30 minutes. You can't be like, oh, this doesn't work. I'm not sure. You got to make the moves, and I think that's going to be that's what's going to separate a lot of people.
Let me ask you this, man. What other matchups are you looking forward to seeing? Other than you in.
I mean, you and Adrian is going to be, a battle of the Titans for sure. Yeah. And Adrian's my guy too. But like I told you about your fact that you got a lot of reps, and you were closing deals before you got any formal training out here.
Oh yeah, man. Listen, man. Like all in those my brothers, man. Before we went to the first event, we did $154. 2 months before that, man. So we know, you can't even get to certain things without having to do certain things. Like you can get mentorship if you haven't put in work yourself, man. So, before we went to any event, we was already putting in the groundwork like a whole year before that, man. Like a year and a half, actually 2 years before that.
And not even put in work. It's one thing to work. I know a lot of people buy a course. I know a lot of people go to events and get to it, but don't really execute, implement, and hustle the way the hustle implementers do it. Yeah, and get 6 figures. And because they can't hit those 6 figures, it's hard for people to see what's really capable, what's really possible. And I think that's
right.
And another matchup I'm definitely looking to see. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Antonio and
I think that's the matchup I'm looking forward to see, man. And it's first. Like I'm gonna be so tuned in to that one, man. What my guy Antonio got. I know he didn't close a lot of deals with Donnie, and then Steven Morales in the field, man. Like, I mean, you can't. I don't know what's gonna happen, honestly, man. I roll with my guy Antonio. I know somebody asked me the other day, but at the same time, I just said Steven Morales too. The only reason I just said both of them before, because I don't know. I don't know, man. That's the God honest truth. I really don't know.
Right. And it's tough. It's tough. And like I said, my man has some skill sets out there that a lot of people don't know about. In addition to that, I think that you also have people, it's kind of like, a lot of people haven't heard of Antonio. Go at it. But Steven, I think Steven, there he is. RG's back.
Yo, I better have better internet than this on Saturday. Had like an 8-minute internet outage. I'm like sweating over here going, woo, that better not happen on Saturday.
Wow, you had so many people. You taught so much stuff, RJ. I'm surprised if Guido's aren't over there chopping out your cable line just to make sure you're
you know what? You bring up a good point. There's only 2 people that didn't show up to this live, and that's Quentin Flores and Aaron Bevins. And they're in Texas. Now, where are they and what happened to my internet? Hey, I'm starting a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Right now, Quentin Flores and Aaron Bevins trying to rig my internet.
Yeah.
The San Antonio boys, I'm telling you, be careful.
I'm gonna add Andy to this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man.
What's up, boys? How's it going?
Oh, man.
What's going on, man?
So,
how are we doing? Keith, Elijah, RJ, what's up, guys?
man, we ready to get it, man. We ready to get it, man.
I just hopped on here. How's everybody treat each other? Is there some smack talk still going on?
Yeah, you know, me and Adrian, you know, we went back.
I'm laying low right now. I'm ready just to compete, man. I'm kind of in that zone where, like, you know, I could definitely keep talking shit and you know, keep grilling Chris, but you know, we got the press conference tomorrow. I'm in my zone where I'm just, you know, this weekend needs to come quicker. Sunday needs to come quicker so I can go ahead and compete for King Closer.
And that's where I've been there. You know, I'm tired of waiting, man.
Like,
you know?
that's really how I'm feeling, man. I'm super amped up. Are a lot of people getting their leads submitted already?
We get leads flooded in. We have people. I mean, people are trampling Andy over there. People going for CJ. They're both at Andy. Big Andy put in work, man. We had our closers call. My man is on the treadmill, on the call, getting all the information, shedding pounds, putting the discipline. My man's in a real boxing match. He's about to really bring the heat. I mean, sweaty. I mean,
true.
Not just like, you know, not like my man Drizzle.
Yeah.
Were y'all on the live earlier
when
Steven and Antonio? Sorry, go ahead, Andy.
You're good. What's that, bro? I want to hear what you said.
Were y'all on the live earlier when Steven and Antonio were talking about their matchup? Hey, like, they actually got a little bit heated. Like, I know, and there for a minute I was like, you know, they've been playing nice, you know, and then Steven dropped the line. He said, "What happened when our offices went against each other? Who won that?" And I was like, "Oh," and they got into it a little bit. I was like, "Okay, so we're starting to see the blood boil a little bit between the matchups." So
I look at it like this. Like for my matchup against Adrian, I look at it like this, man. Championship type of matchup. It's like being in the finals, right? So you got to think about this real quick. When you in the finals,
yo, what up, CJ?
You know, both teams are great. So
my nemesis is in this bitch right now. What's good? What is good? I'm ready, bro. I'm ready for. I was just telling the guys right before you hopped on that, like, you know, trash talk, you know, it's going to be there. But at this point, I'm just ready for Saturday, Sunday. Like, I'm ready to compete now, man. You know, like, you know, we've had a good few weeks of going back and forth now. It's showtime. It's literally game week. It's game week, right? You don't show up game week to talk shit. You show up game week to show out and freaking win the matchup, right? I know we're all competitors, so we're probably all feeling, you know, similar way. You know, just getting anxious to get on the phones for people, right?
So, Chris, I'm gonna ask you
that's
the
fire.
question.
That hat is fire.
Hey, you already got one. It's on the way. You should have got it today.
It's in the mail room right now. I gotta grab it.
Chris, I'm gonna ask you the question that I asked earlier. When you found out that you were facing Andy in the first round, what were your thoughts? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I said this earlier. There was 3 people I did not want to face in this competition, and that was Adrian, Andy, and Antonio. Like, I did not want to face the guys that all they do for 12 hours a day is do acquisitions. Like, I wanted to face somebody else that was a business owner that's got to deal with some of the other bullshit that we got to deal with, right? Like, Andy's over there, he's just a stone cold killer. So I know you're not into closing all day. So what were your thoughts when you found out you're facing Andy?
Be real.
Nah, I'm gonna keep it advanced. So I mean, honestly, at first I didn't give it any thought at all. And no disrespect to Andy, I just didn't know too much about him at the time. I had seen his face before. I think I'd been following him on Instagram. I mean, look, I got a lot of respect for Carlos Reyes. Alex Sainz is my guy. I got a lot of respect for the All-In team. So all I knew was that he was on the All-In team, and I know they don't got nothing but hitters over at the All-In squad. That I know for a fact, right? So when I digged into him a little bit, I saw that he's a monster closer for Alex. I know Alex is making good money over there. So obviously these guys are doing a lot of deals, getting a lot of things done. So then when I started to think about it a little bit, I said, hey, I said, so they got this man.
They putting a machine up against me, man. This is like when Arnold Schwarzenegger had to go up against the Terminator, man. They put me up. I said they want to put me up against a machine, man. He just sit on the phone and make calls all day, man. I said, but you know what? I'm the fucking Terminator. I said, this is exactly what I want. I said, this is going to be great. I said, this is what the people need. I think we'll have two different styles. I don't know Andy's style too much. My style is a little bit more aggressive. You know, I'm kind of a boxer with mine. I like to get you to the spot. Whether that takes 12 rounds, whether it takes 3 rounds. I don't know if Andy's a knockout artist or not, but I think it's going to be great to see. Obviously, this guy is good. Obviously, he's making calls all day, so he's got to be a king closer in his own right. So I think it's going to be awesome, man. We go head to head. A lot of this is going to come down to the lead, right? You know, you can't control that. So a lot of it's going to come down to how strong is the lead that you get? How can you work it? How much work do you have to do on that lead? We're on a time crunch. You got 30 minutes. So I think it's going to be super dope.
Andy, I want to ask you a question because your boy Adrian, he went in deep on why you're going to beat CJ.
Yeah.
So we still got Keith on here. So why is your boy?
Break that down for me, man. Break that down for me.
You got to go back and watch it. So why is your boy Adrian going to beat Keith?
The reason why Adrian is going to beat Keith is simple. I think Adrian said it best his first interview. Who had to do acquisitions, baby? Who had to do acquisitions, baby?
Let me say something.
No. Keith is a beast. Like, you know, it's honestly, it's that type of man. Hold on. I can't hear Keith for some reason. Like, I think I'm like I don't know. It's weird. But you know, Keith is a beast. Like he's just a complete beast. But all my chips would go to my partner Adrian. You know, because dude, like, keep in mind, me and him shared an office for 2.5 years, and it was literally like, you know, he made me better at what I lacked, and I made him better at what he lacked, because we both have two completely different closing styles. But I mean, I'm telling you, dude, like, there's not a soul on this earth, and you can tell by now. There's not a soul on earth that, you know, Adrian doesn't know how to break down. Like, you know, a lot of people have defense. You know, they're on the defensive side when they first hop on a phone call, but he knows how to break sellers down really well. He knows how to negotiate really well. I mean, we're just veterans, bro. Like, you know, Saturday, Sunday is nothing more than another day in the office.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, buddy.
We can hear you now.
First and foremost, that man to teach me acquisitions. I did $150 before we ever came to the event at All In. Listen. Hold on now.
Oh, he's hot. Keep us hot.
Listen, don't do that. Let's not do that.
Out on me now.
You know, I really do this. This is what I do. You know, I've never been a salesman. I've never did sales training. This is what I do, man. I've been doing this for a while now. I cannot let nobody say that they taught me acquisitions, because I know that ain't the truth. I've never taken the course. I never did John Martinez. You know, I've never did what's the other guy that been throwing a name around who's supposed to be acquisitions that he learned from. You know what I mean? I've been doing this. My mouthpiece been smooth. You know, so I can't let nobody say that, man. I'm sorry.
Look, there's not. I don't think there's one person in the competition that I would just, you know, take lightly. You know, besides maybe one or two guys, and I'm not going to name them, but with that said, you know, there's not very many people that I would really take lightly. So for me, like, you know, it doesn't matter if, you know, Adrian's going against Keith, I'm going against CJ. Like, we obviously have, you know, good matchups here with really solid closers, but to us, it's like, you know, it's more about, you know, us just doing the work and executing the phone call, and, you know, the rest will follow. You know, and that's really the way you have to think about it. Nobody, you know, we've all have proven, you know, track records, and at the end of the day, you know, we're not proving anything to anybody else, more so, you know, to ourselves, right? Because we all want to know if we're really the best. Now we'll really identify if we're the best, right? Like that's what it comes down to.
On that real quick. People have been asking me, like, man, if you don't win, there's a lot to lose. There's a lot on the line. And here's the reality. I want to piggyback on what Andy said, because I think it's important. Everybody here is a monster and a boss in their own right. Yep. Everybody here is a closer in their own right. And the reality of things, whether you get bounced in the first round or the final round in the championship, It does not actually matter. We're doing this for the people. We're doing this for the viewers so that they can learn, so they can get the information they need to get better. Because at the end of the day, we're going to get off that phone call on Sunday, and we're going to go make more calls on Monday in our everyday business to do what we do.
Of course, exactly.
Day. And people wouldn't be involved in this if they were not monster closers. So there's no love lost whether you bounce in the first round of the championship. Like Andy said, we're doing this for ourselves outside of the people watching this that are here to learn, because we're all competitors. We all want to compete. We all want to win, right?
100%.
But there's nothing lost whether you lose in the first round or in the championship, because everybody watching this is going to be learning something. And I know they're here to win. RJ, go.
CJ and I were laughing about this yesterday because, Carlos kind of went off on me because I've been talking a lot of trash. And he's like, RJ better at least win that first round matchup with all this trash talk he's been doing. And CJ and I were laughing about this because we were like, honestly, I mean, I want to win. Don't get me wrong. But if Nick beats me, that's okay. Because come Monday, I'm going to go close all the deals that I was going to close on Monday to make my money anyways. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's how all of us are. And again, to CJ's point, look, we're doing this so the people that are participating or attending can learn from us and the different styles and strategies. And also, we're doing it for a good cause. Like, we're giving a lot of money back to families that were affected by COVID-19. It's going to be a one-of-a-kind event. I'm looking forward to it. I'm honored to be a part of this event with all of you guys. But Elijah, you've been quiet for a second, and we got Andy and CJ on here. So go ahead, give me your prediction. Who's going to take this one down?
Oh, so I mean, honestly, like, Andy is a beast when it comes to the closing. So I think that's going to play a big advantage for him because he's been on a lot. He's been knocking out a lot of calls and he's been closing a lot of deals. However, I think I'm going to give the nudge. I'm going to give the nudge, just a slight nudge to Chris Jefferson there, just because he's able to, my personal opinion, know how to attack from different approaches, because he's done from building deals, for wholesaling deals, for doing developments. I think he's dealt with different types of sellers in a different format. He's been doing over a decade. And I know a lot of us don't think that time is not going to play a role. I think that's going to play a big role into it. Before I take it off, I want to get your thoughts. And then, Andy, I want to ask you a quick question because I have to hop off myself. Andy, I wanted to ask you a question, all right?
Yep, hit me.
If it comes down to you and Adrian in the final, if it's you and Adrian,
oh, man.
Down to it, right?
Jesus.
Because nobody asked you this. Like, who you taking?
No one has asked me.
If it comes down
I got myself. I mean, I got myself. Of course I got myself. And I know if you asked him the same thing, he probably is going to bet on himself also, right? Like, and I want him to bet on himself, and I'm sure he'd want me to bet on myself, right? And I'll be honest, if he knocks me out, if either of us knock each other out, we ain't going to be mad because we know that shit, like, we didn't get knocked out by somebody who's not really out here. Like, we got knocked out by the best of the best. So, like, I actually had that thought, like, what if it does come to that? I'm going to be ready. I would prefer not to go against him and, maybe see him in the finals. If that, like, that would be awesome if we both made the finals. But with that said, I mean, I'm a bet on myself 10 out of 10 times.
Okay, real quick. I want to throw out a question because I think this is not being thought about enough by the different contestants, okay? And I know this because I close in multiple markets. We've closed in almost half the states in the United States, okay? There are times where you get a lead in a new state, and all of a sudden that seller starts throwing around some verbiage that you have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Like, yeah, I got this thing in the back. It can be converted to an ADU, and you can do this and then you're like, whoa. Okay.
Are you sure?
You're like Googling like ADU. Why? What is this?
I'll be honest. There's not a rebuttal or objection or a verb or saying that I can't bounce back from smoothly.
I'm not talking about an objection. I'm talking about a state specific. Like something about the real estate that you might not know about. Like, for example, say you get a lead in Vermont. You've never had a lead in Vermont before. What if there's something in Vermont that you have no clue about? How are you going to handle that?
If you're a real,
I'm really not worried about it.
If you're a real closer, you know what to do. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and
sir.
like my guy Chris will tell you, last time we did the cold call challenge, the very first call I took it to the house. Listen, I'm not no rookie, man. I don't have any weaknesses when it comes to this stuff. I'm very versatile. You know what I mean? Like I take this serious. I perfect my craft. I listen to calls all day. I've been doing that. You know what I mean? Like I study this stuff. I study psychology. I understand people. So if you understand how to, you know, when you got so many reps, you know, like Andy said, you know, them objections is all natural, man. You know how to bounce back very quick. I think quick on my feet. You know what I mean? So I take my craft very. It's not even about competition with me. I really take my craft very serious about this. You know what I mean?
Hear these young pups, Chris. Back me up a little bit here. Like it can throw you for a loop if a seller says something and you don't know what they're talking about. Suddenly you lose credibility. That is something that, as the closers, we need to think about a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with RJ. That can definitely happen. But my opinion on it is you got to be quick on your feet. You gotta be able to pivot and adjust as quickly as possible in that conversation with that seller. I think this is going to come down to heavily, like I said, what kind of leads do you get? What is the quality of the lead? Who's the seller that you're speaking to? How motivated are they? Can you identify the motivation quickly? Yep. You know, people think that 30 minutes is a long time. 30 minutes is not a long time.
It's not.
You know, you've got to move at a pretty decent pace to get from A to Z on a 30-minute call with the seller. You know, if you do a lot of cold calls, you know that 110%. So I think there's going to be some strategy that's going to have to come into play. I think for guys like myself, you know, Keith, Andy, from what I've heard, Steven, I think some of the event will play to our people like us as advantage because we do have more of an aggressive nature. You know, I'm a kind of a hybrid. Sometimes I'm super aggressive. Sometimes I'm, you know, kind of taking it to the distance, taking it 12 rounds. So I think that's going to kind of be the key in this competition is how quickly can you identify whether they're motivated or not? Because if they're not motivated, you need to get off that call and get to another call as quickly as you can because we need to tap into somebody who's motivated. So I think
I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that, man. I'm super ready for that.
All right, guys. So I got one last question for each of you, and then we're going to wrap this up, okay? Andy, you're going to win, right? Who's going to finish in second place?
Adrian Salgado.
Okay, Chris, what about you? Who finishes second behind you?
Who finishes second?
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Keith, man, because I'm planning to knock him out in the championship.
Wow, mine and Adrian's freaking nemesis are out here trying to counterpart us, bro. Take the head of our divisions here.
Hey, listen,
I need backup.
The people have told me
to assemble, baby.
The people have told me they want to see me and Keith in the championship. I've heard them loud.
I'm willing to work for it, man. Like
I want to get there for the heavyweight bout. And that's how it's gonna have to go down, man. It's gonna be like back in the day, man, when those big time heavyweight bouts, all the bright lights, pay-per-view matchup. I want to see Keith in the championship. I want to knock his head off because I got a lot of respect for him. I'm sure he wants to do the same to me, and that's my opinion.
All right, Keith, who finishes second to you?
Man, honestly, man, I really don't know. I really don't even care. I mean, you know, I'm so focused, like, you know, and really, Andy just really lit a fire up under my ass at this point. So I'm telling you right now, you better be ready. I'm not. There's no jokes going on. So it don't even matter. Everybody can shot at me. Everybody.
Salesforce stays ready.
So they better be ready. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't saying nothing else.
Oh, Born Closer's ready, baby.
Hey,
we're ready right there.
Nothing to say.
Born Closer,
there you go, Keith.
Born ready.
You stole my damn answer. I don't give a damn who finishes second to me because y'all all gonna finish behind me, and that's the bottom line because I said so. All right.
All right.
So, all right, guys. Thanks so much. Looking forward to the press conference tomorrow. Best of luck on Saturday. Hope all of us get great leads. All right, guys.
Yeah, fellas, have a good day, man.
Hey, y'all be good, man.
Yes, sir.
Later.